A new Mario Party game is out, and with it, a new slew of minigames, with a few old ones dusted off, for players to enjoy. And gatekeepers. With these minigames, the return of a classic meme. Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing. That's right, I'm taking it upon myself to look through all the minigames in here and give a definitive answer as to how many of them can be won by doing nothing. Well, not all of them. You see, I decided to exclude some of the minigames for varying reasons. I excluded item minigames because you're not really playing against anyone, rhythm minigames because those are team-based minigames played for a score rather than against opponents, and for that same reason team minigames also aren't counted, along with Koopathlon minigames because those are kinda score-based minigames that you play on your own, though some are survival-based. If you want to at least count the ones where you have to dodge attacks from Imposter Bowser though, feel free to, though I'd have to assume it'd just be more additions to the pile of impossible minigames. Obviously, I'll be playing as Luigi for this experiment, and all computers will be set to easy difficulty. But anyways, the exclusions still leave us with 73 minigames to count, so without further ado, let's follow the advice of the magic conch shell and find out how many minigames you can win in Super Mario Party Jamboree by doing absolutely nothing. As a short disclaimer, I saved the motion control minigames for last, so those will be their own separate category, just before you wonder why they're skipped in the first categories I'm talking about. Starting with the free-for-all minigames, Big Top Quiz requires you to move your cursor over an option and press a button to select it, meaning earning points is impossible, so no winning here. Get ready to hear a lot of variations of the same. This minigame requires inputs to win, so it's impossible. Next up, Camera Array requires you to press a button to even be judged, meaning you automatically score a 0. This one's impossible. Scarousel at first might offer some promise since it's a survival minigame, but it only takes about 3.5 seconds for you to get zapped by the electricity at the back, and yeah, even on easy difficulty, the AI is not bad enough to all get eliminated before that. This one's impossible. Snag the flags, again, this one ain't happening. If you're very lucky, the AI might accidentally push you into a flag, but nowhere near enough flags to beat them. You need to select an option to even be able to get blocks in hot cross blocks, so another one that's impossible to win. Lightweight battle. We can't attack or dodge in this one. Even with iframes, I'm still comfortable assuming this one's impossible. The difference is the same as Big Top Quiz. Gotta pick an option to even be able to score. Impossible. Next, we move on to Cold Front, and hallelujah, we finally found one. You do need to get a bit lucky with which typhoons choose to gust, and maybe the AI pushing you out of harm's way a bit, but this one is possible to win by doing nothing. The Firebar and Hot Hot Hop is arguably our second greatest enemy in making it impossible to win by doing nothing. Perhaps the greatest though is the game's programming. Let me explain what I mean. Generally, with this positioning, all three of these AI will often play the minigame the exact same way every time. Koopa pushes me over a bit while running away from the Firebar, as does Waluigi, and Daisy attempts to jump over the Firebar. The only real difference is whether Daisy clears the Firebar with her jump or not. The way the game goes, me and Koopa will always fall victim to the Firebar on its first rotation, so if Daisy fails the jump, Waluigi just wins right there. If not, then business carries on until one of them wins, though I'd assume it's the same thing every time from there as well. But anyways, yeah, this one's impossible. Domination requires you to mash. Impossible. Free throw requires you to push a button to pull up and shoot. Inputs being required to score makes this impossible. I don't think I need to tell you why Granite Getaway is impossible. Gatekeepers I initially thought would be possible, since I figured the game would default to you just picking the leftmost key on the leftmost door if you let the clock run out. However, if you instead let the clock run out, you forfeit your turn, making this game impossible to win. Sled to the edge. Hope Luigi likes his bathwater cold. Ranks to Riches, our first coin minigame. Though you could argue getting a coin is winning, considering just getting a coin causes your character to perform their victory animation, the game only lists the one with the most coins as winning in the score count, so we'll go by that in the future. And with that being said, yeah, this one's impossible to get the most coins in. Treetop Treasure, impossible. You have to jump to do anything more than maybe get lucky and have the seesaw logs tilted so high you just get a coin for existing. Treasure Divers, another impossible minigame, except this time you can't even get coins. Platform Peril, impossible. Stamp Out, with no inputs, you're not winning the beta version of Turf War in Splatoon. It's not until we get to our final non-motion control free-for-all minigame that we finally double our count by finding our second minigame possible to win by doing nothing. Trampoline is possible. It just kinda comes down to luck. If the ants start walking to the left, the AI will likely take themselves out before the first spiked ant can reach you. Now we can move on to the 1v3 minigames, and for these ones, I'll only be looking at the perspective of the one, as otherwise I'd be doing something really boring and saying, yeah, it's possible for your teammates to carry you. Sunset Showdown. You can make an argument that it's maybe possible as the one if the AI are really dumb, but the few attempts I did, the AI basically played it the same way every round, so I'm comfortable in assuming this one's not possible. Cookie cutters requires you to press a button to score at all, impossible. Unfriendly flying object devolves into a showdown for who can do nothing the longest so long as you aren't moving, impossible. Lost and Pound, if you don't choose within the time limit, you'll just hide in the bottom circle. From there, this is essentially a luck-based minigame against AI, so as long as you make it to round 3, and don't lose the 1 and 4 that the bottom circle is the one they all pick, you're golden. On again, off again. Don't worry, the AI will likely screw up enough that you'll win no problem. Bruiser Bash requires you to press a button to even move and punch. This one's impossible.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Cage Catch, again, impossible, as you're sitting or floating duck. The AI will track you down quickly. Blaming on the crane requires you to press a button to have a chance to take in one of the 3 out of the game. Impossible. Snowball is possible, just hope your Kikis feel like connecting on their throws.
You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
Squeaky Shakedown, we feel like not concussing the 3 today. This one's impossible. Moving on to the 2v2 minigames. Don't worry, now the minigames come down to, is it possible for my teammate to carry me? Rocky Rope Race, progress is impossible without you pressing a button. Picking Produce is possible. Maybe it's because only having one AI does less to screw things up, and so the automatic points from doing nothing are enough to get you past the opposing team. Prime Cut is weird, not because it's impossible to win, because it is possible, but because doing nothing might actually be the optimal way to play the minigame with an AI teammate. Just let them do all the moving to not get off sync, and you might be able to reliably win this minigame when it comes up. Shallow Play requires you to press a button to overlap your shape, meaning scoring is impossible. Matchmakers requires player input to move and select cards to progress, impossible to win. Diffuse or lose is possible, the AI often leaves one of the sparks unchecked, and loses quickly. Jump the gun is impossible regardless of which role you have. No progress is happening without both a gunner and a jumper doing something. You'll need to center yourself at points before the AI will even choose to move forward in 2-axis taxi. This one's impossible. Tricky Turntable is possible, you just need to get lucky. Next up, the duel minigames. All 4 of them. Slappy Go Round requires an input to attack or defend. This one is impossible. Stone Eye Bowling is possible to at least tie, depending on the layout, and the game counts as a win, so that's one on the board here. Fuzzy Heights requires you to move the left stick to even go higher. Impossible to win. All the Marbles is a race to the finish minigame requiring movement of the left stick to move forward. Another one that's impossible. Next are the Showdown minigames, and for the next couple of categories, I'll keep things brief since they mostly just be me saying the same things. You can pretty much generalize the Showdown minigames into the same. Input is required to even score or progress in these minigames. You're not winning them by doing nothing. It's for this reason that I will exclude Rosalina's Showdown minigame when talking about the motion controlled minigames. There is an exception to the Showdown minigames, however, that being Junior's Gauntlet. Junior's Gauntlet is a series of short minigames where you have to avoid getting hit by something in order to score a point. The easy AI, understandably, sucks at this, and often just runs into these things for no reason. Just get lucky in a few rounds, and you can actually win a Showdown minigame by doing absolutely nothing. Now onto the boss minigames, and they're the same as the Showdown minigames, excluding Bowser Jr. A button press is required to do the attacks necessary to score points. You can't win them by doing nothing. Now let's finish this video by going over the motion control minigames. I struggle to find a truly flat surface that won't lead to any tilting of the controller, which may also be a product of the Joy-Con's design here causing a slight natural tilt, but I digress. The one minigame I'll be going over that's possible that shows this anyways is verifiably possible with absolutely no movement or a video like this. Most of these minigames require the motion inputs to win, but I'm sure you're tired of that by now, so let's just dive into the couple that are actually possible. Shuttle Scuttle. You may need some luck with the layout, but if you get a good one, yeah, you can win this by doing nothing. Robo Arm Wrestle isn't a guarantee, but your teammate can carry you to win on this one. Just hope that the team of 2 AI is doing really bad on that particular attempt. And the final minigame, Coin Corral. I probably got very lucky with this one, but yeah, if the AI play a certain way, you can outscore the other team on coins here. Every other motion minigame is impossible for largely the same reason, but I didn't wish to bore you any longer with more input is required, and so that's it. Well, not really. You see, anyone who's played this game probably knows I didn't mention 2 minigames, those being Lumber Tumble and Sandwich. That's because despite me playing way more attempts into those 2 minigames and not being able to come up victorious, I don't think I can say for certain one way or the other that they're possible or impossible yet. I'm sorry to not have a definitive answer, but this is just a for funsies video anyway, and I hope you can understand it's not worth me losing my sanity to try and reach that firm conclusion. So, therefore, I'll put these two minigames in their own category as theoretically possible. If I had to make guesses on them though, I just think that no matter the layout, at least one of the AI will last you, so I'd say Lumber Tumble is probably impossible, or at best once in a blue moon. Sandwich I have a slightly more positive view on, as I do think that while you need to get very lucky with where the sandwiches drop, I think that if you can last for about 10 to 15 seconds, and also have the AI bounce off you to get crushed before you do, you could possibly win this minigame. But I can't say that for certain. If you want to waste an afternoon or two to see if that's the case for yourself though, by all means, be my guest. For all I know, the video proof could be out there already for games I've written off as 1 in a million or impossible. But anyways, my final count. Overall, you can win 14 minigames in Super Mario Party Jamboree by doing absolutely nothing. Not a bad number, I'd say. If you enjoyed this, consider liking and subscribing. It does a lot more to motivate me to post more stupid stuff on this channel than you may realize. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.